Alright guys, so I'm actually recording this at the end after making the bioactive. As you can see, it's behind me. But just wanted to mention some of the stuff I was going to be using today. I'll put it in the description below. I've got the hydro balls at the bottom, which are there just to soak up any moisture, stop it getting mouldy at the very bottom of the tank. Then I've got a layer which is mesh, Zumed mesh, to separate the cocoa fibre from the hydro ball so it doesn't get mixed in. Cocoa fibre is just a brick. I just bought a brick and added water to it. You'll see it in the video, but yeah, all the stuff you'll see in the video as I'm going through the process, but I just wanted to make a list first. So hydro balls, mesh, cocoa fibre, moss, got some moss there, dried leaves with like bark and stuff. The plants that I used are a Philodendron, a golden POTHOS, some purple wandering Jew, which is a climber as well. So, and then I've just got Springtails. I've used Springtails as well in it. I think that's everything. Oh, and it's a 12 by 12 by 18 terrarium for one gecko, which isn't fully adult yet. But the 12 by 12 by 18 will be okay for one fully grown adult gecko. Crested Gecko. It's a tall, obviously. But yeah. Alright. So I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll take you through the process of how I made this bioactive. This here one I bought second hand, so all I've done is I have de-sterilized it with just deep clean spray, the reptile disinfectant, and then I have rinsed it out. I've already put the hydro balls. I just used the Zumed hydro balls. I just rinsed them out in the sink to get the dust off them, because it says here rinse prior to use. Rinsed them off, filled them in up to, I used the whole bag because it said a minimum of 2 inches. So I just used the whole bag, and then I've just layered the Exo Terra mesh on top. And it's sitting ready now for the Eco Earth to go on top. Okay, so I've just taken the Eco Earth block, Zumed Eco Earth. I've used the whole block. I don't think you would need to use the whole one, but I've only got one gecko, so I figured I would use it. So I've just added it to some water, kind of mixed it around. Like 4 litres of water. I don't think that's 4 litres that I put in, so I might need to add more water to it in a bit, but I've just kind of mixed it around. It's already kind of absorbed most of that. And then I'm going to leave it to sit for half an hour here, it says. If I need to add more water to it, I will, and I'll just get it to the right amount. Okay guys, so it's been a few days since the last part of the video because I was waiting for the plants to arrive. So I've got all the plants and stuff now that are going to go in. I've put the layer of substrate on top there, as you can see, just the Eco Earth on top of that mesh. Actually, I added a bit too much water, so I've still got some, but it's like a liquidy mess. But I just squeezed the water out of it as I was putting it in, so it's kind of, you know, it's pretty dry. It's pretty dry at the moment. You know, it's a nice consistency. The plants and stuff that I'm using. Oh, and I got Springtails as well, obviously, because you need the cleanup crew there. They're all quite active, moving about. So for plants, I've got some of these purple wandering dews. They're called wandering dew. It's like a climber. So I'm thinking this will probably go up along the back. So when it's growing, it'll kind of climb up the back panel. This big one, I didn't expect it to be as big as it was whenever I ordered it, so I'll have to take a cutting from this. But what I like about this one is the size of the leaves. Like, that's going to be really good for the gecko to like climb on and drink off. And this one is called a Philodendron, and I believe it's scandens or something, or scandens. I'll put the links to all the plants in the description below. Got some live moss just to go along the bottom. Got some dried leaves and bark and stuff for the springtails as well. Okay, so this plant is called a golden pothos, and it's got quite large leaves as well. They're all these plants that I've gotten are all low light to maintain. They're not very high maintenance plants. I looked them up beforehand to make sure. They just need like pretty much the requirements that your gecko will need, in the sense of you just need to be misting to water, obviously, and then they should be okay. They don't really need a whole lot of maintenance, other than obviously you'll have to cut them down whenever they get too big. The likes of this one, this thing grows, I think, something like up to 2 feet or something. But yeah, so you have to cut that down. I don't really have a plan for the layout in here. I'm just gonna kind of go for it and see what ends up happening with the tank. Like, I'm just kind of gonna go along with it. It's gonna be hard. I've nowhere really to set the camera while I'm doing this, but basically all I'm gonna be doing is taking these out and planting these in first, and then I'll come back once I've got these in and show you what I'm going to be doing with like the moss and the bark and the springtails and stuff in a bit. See, when you're going to propagate the plants, I forgot to mention, whenever you're wanting to propagate them, so whenever you're wanting to plant them in, trying to get them to grow on this, if you're taking cuttings from a bigger one, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get scissors and cut diagonally about an inch or two below, like, see these wee like nodes you've got? You'll have these on the plants, because these here are roots, so you'll want to cut just below there, and that gives them a better opportunity for rooting in and growing. So I've put the plants in. I've got the wandering dew going up the back here. I've got this here's the Philodendron. So that's the Philodendron, and that's the golden pothos. And probably, like, it doesn't look great, but I'm not an expert at this. This is my first bioactive. It'll look a bit better once the stuff starts growing out, because this here will grow up and give more space for the gecko to climb. I didn't want to cover the whole floor with big plants, so I've kind of put this one to the corner. This here one's kind of in the middle, going up along the back, so it'll eventually grow up along here, as well as the wandering dew there. It'll kind of intermingle and just kind of give a nice area to climb in this kind of back corner. I'm gonna start throwing down the live moss now. Got the live moss, just kind of carpet in the the bottom bit, and then I'll throw down some of the bark and then add the springtails to the mix. The moss is in. I've just kind of carpeted the bottom with it because moss is very good for the humidity, and I wanted to create like a little, it's like a little garden. And I kind of keep the gecko's feet clean. I will be adding, you know, the dried leaves and stuff on the top, so the springtails will still have stuff to eat. That'll keep it humid and it'll still be okay for misting and stuff. There we go, I've just added the springtails and the dried leaves and things. You can see springtails kind of moving about in there slightly. You know, they're going in and around. So the springtails being added on top of moss added more, like a bit more soil and stuff on top as well. So it's just kind of like a, I don't know, like a autumn garden or something maybe. And I'll add the water dish here, just in this corner, so it's easily accessible, and I don't need to go like in behind shit to get at it, and I'll have the dish there as well. Or maybe I'll invest in getting like a stick-on ledge, might be good, but I don't have one of those yet, so like I'm just using bottle caps at the minute for the feeding. Okay, so I've put everything in, and the gecko is in the Bioactive Terrarium now. And this is what it looks like. So the gecko at the minute, Cynder, she is just hiding in under these leaves currently. Packed right in. What she's doing there? But yeah.